that you had brought him so many books and evidence and material, and then I'd given him material, and then all of that, that he went down to Mexico and spent months and months reading and watching and all and doing research, and then he really had this awakening, to a higher level of information. And then you guys had just gotten back from HARP in Alaska when I hooked up with you guys at the hotel there in L.A., and I was talking to your dad, and he said, Alex, my head's spinning. When I lay down at night, it's literally spinning and opening up, and that's the same process that all of us go through, even when we think we know what's going on, even when we think we're aware of the New World Order and the shadow government, it just gets more and more crazy, and this microcosm of the underground bases, how there's this giant archipelago of underground bases and continuity of government facilities that are even on record to exist. Imagine what we don't know exists, and the general public has no idea all this is going on beneath them.
I know, and they have no idea that most of their taxpayers is paying for all of it. Most of their tax money is paying for all of it. I mean, you want to know what you're buying and what. I mean, they're taking your money to do all this and to run these regimes and to do this. Not to mention, the selling of drugs, not to mention the CIA selling of drugs on the cities, on the inner city streets and all of that. So, I mean, they're totally abusing you. I mean, it's no different than when the, feudal lords were abusing the serfs, back in the, 1300s, I think.
Stay there,
hellish prison planet controlled by them against a defenseless public.
How come this isn't exposed?
They did report on it. The Council on Foreign Relations now goes on C-SPAN. I mean, it's incredible. Now, more and more, they just come right out with the fact that they're setting up.
Okay, here's the deal. We've got Tyrel Ventura, part of the production team, associate producer, camera guy, researcher on conspiracy theory. The last episode, 2012, the Underground Bunker program, that is coming up tonight, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Believe me, you want to tune in and watch it. The hour before, they will re-air last week's show, which Jesse thinks is the most wild one, and that's the Manchurian Candidate program that we know is real. Now, is every person out there saying they're a Manchurian Candidate real? No. But that's going to re-air tonight, 8 o'clock Central, leading in to the new episode. But we have callers for the guest only. Questions about Jesse Ventura, questions about the series, questions about the production of Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura. Tyrel Ventura is here giving us a different perspective or different angle on the production. 1-800-259-9231, 1-800-259-9231. Tyrel, I want to get into your dad and politics, but before we do that, I've been asking the questions here. Any other points or ideas? You were getting into government drug dealing, how many times they've been caught, CIA aircraft crashing full of cocaine, and you got cut off by the break. Any more statements on that, or anything else you want to say to the audience?
The thing I want to say too is, don't I read the talkback section on the Facebook page for the conspiracy theory for our show, and all of that, and I've gotten a lot of mail, to the company and to the production office, of people, telling us, look, I've uncovered this or I've found that, and we do take that seriously. I mean, if we do get picked up for a second season, we need material. So if if you have anything out there that you've uncovered or you think of, don't be afraid to send it to us. It's interviewing people out there and finding the truth of stories is what's going to help us. And if you got a little nugget of information about something that maybe you yourself are afraid to bring to public, we can do that. If we get picked up, and that's why you got to watch the show and write to True TV and get us picked up for a second season so we can keep telling the truth on, we got Alex doing it on the radio and in DVDs, and if we can keep doing it on TV, that creates the groundswell, and hopefully you can change the world that way.
Well, there's no doubt that there's a huge awakening taking place, and you guys were already aware of that, but producing the show, being out there on the street, really plunging with both feet into the alternative media and bringing it to mainstream media, building that bridge. This is unprecedented, trailblazing, avant-garde event that we've all witnessed, and I've just been honored to be involved in it. What has it been like truly immersing yourself in this, Tyrel?
Well, I mean, it's like you say, your head starts spinning after a while, and it's tough sometimes to decipher, which person's telling you the truth, which person isn't, whose side should you take in this, who's who's got the most information on any subject that's going to fit right for the show and the style of the show and the editing. I mean, it was a tough, long thing to put together. You know, I mean, you're out there, you know, interviewing people, sending Jesse up to Alaska, going all over the place, and you know, the government's not being helpful at all, and you know, so it was a fun shoot to do. We worked with great people all around, and Jesse had a great time doing it. But yeah, your head starts spinning after a while because you know you get so inundated with information that you just kind of got to pick the best ones you got right there and go with them. I mean, we had so much more information on each of these subjects that we could put in that we only have an hour, to talk about. So you kind of got to just grab the best things you can and hope for the best,
I haven't talked to your dad in the last 3 weeks since he left to get down to Mexico. Talking to him over email down there, he was super excited when I talked to him 3 weeks ago. Is he even more excited now that the ratings have just continued?
Oh, of course he's excited. I mean, we're just kind of all waiting to see and hope we get picked up. And but yeah, he loves the show and is very happy with it. And a lot of, like I say, a lot of love to True TV. They never once really stepped in and said, no, you can't talk about this, or yes, you can. They were very hands off. And they're a very good company to work for. Same with A. Schmidt Productions, which is the production company that put it together. Great people to work for. And like I say, very hands off, surprisingly. I was expecting, the worst when you get into media conglomerates and, they're owned by Turner and all that. You never know what you're going to get into, but they were fantastic to work with. And really,
I was involved. I was involved in a big production for Discovery Channel with the director who did Some Kind of Monster, Brothers Keeper, and a lot of other top documentary films. I mean, the very top of the genre. And he said, I've never seen this in 20-plus years of filmmaking. The whole show was done. Executives came in and said, we're not doing this anti-New World Order stuff. $3.4 million budget. Killed the entire program. And I've seen that over and over again where the system does do this. But talking to your dad and other people in the production, they say that his personality, his gravitas, his research, proving it. He told True TV, I'm going in to just find the truth. I have an open mind. He found the truth. It's our perspective because we are telling the truth. And it is the first national television show that actually comes from the reality perspective. And so how do you think this got on air?
I think it got on air. I mean, I think the True TV, believed in Jesse and had the guts. The executives up there had the guts to say, let's take a gamble on this and let's take a chance. I bet there's an audience out there for this, which we found that there is. And also, I think we probably got in under the radar a little bit. Jesse hadn't really been in the public eye for a while, and I think we slipped it by him. In terms of the media elite and the powers that be, I think we kind of slipped this one by him. But the great thing about Hollywood and television and all of that is, as much as they will push an agenda, they still love money. And in TV, it's advertising dollars. So, like we say, the more people that watch the show and the more people that want it on the air and want this kind of information out there, you got to write in and tell them to pick us up for the second season. Because, they'll follow money before they'll follow.
Well,
greed comes first.
There is no doubt that if you put this on primetime, CBS, ABC, NBC, or Fox, that this would be a #1 show. And I know there's been some discussion down the road. I mean, we need to get another season on cable, but this needs to go to primetime television. Now, I don't think the powers that be are going to let that happen.
Who knows? I mean, that primetime television is so locked into sitcoms that mean nothing and everything else that, and murder investigation stories that aren't true. That's the great thing about being, on True TV and working with them is, we deal in, like it says, we deal in not reality but actuality, and it's been a great network to work with.
This is a real Perry Mason. I mean, you guys go out and do a real investigation.
Yeah, we're not CSI out there pretending with, fake dead bodies. These are real issues we're dealing with and real people we're interviewing.